Hi guys, welcome to the Self-Devotion Project. It is now the beginning of week 8 of the project. Before we go into what that's going to be about, let's have a look at week 7, which was EFT, otherwise known as tapping. Now, I did manage to tap every single day last week. Some sessions went longer than others, just depending on what was going on and what I was using the tapping for. There was one specific issue that I wanted to work on, and that was a belief from a little girl about always having to be the good girl. So a lot of you might relate to this. I find that I'm always jumping to help other people without thinking about what I want or what my needs are. I kind of get this urgency that rises up if somebody needs me, and run straight to them. Which I guess can sort of be a good thing when you're a psychologist, being so empathic and so compassionate, and so supportive and helpful with other people. But I think a lot of the time I kind of forget about myself and what my needs are. And I think it's important that we do put our needs before other people's needs. And I mean, if you think about when you're on the aeroplane and they say to you, pop your mask on, so that then you can help pop the masks, the oxygen masks, on the people next to you or children. Because I mean, if you don't put your mask on and you're not okay, how are you going to help anyone else? And the same goes for self-care. If you're not well, if you're not feeling good, how are you then going to help the people around you? So I really wanted to tap that out, this whole having to be the good girl all the time. Feeling like I have to jump and help people straight away, because otherwise I might disappoint them, or they might not feel comfortable or have what they need, but really at the expense of how I feel and what I really want. So it's something that I think I'm going to continue to work on. I do feel there's been a little bit of a shift, which is really great, but it's a really ingrained belief system. So I think it's something that I'll continue to work on. A few other times I used tapping this week was just when, someone had said something and I'd let it get to me. Things like that, where I'd sort of sit there for 5 minutes and go, okay, I'm going to tap this out. And off I'd go, doing the different points and saying what needed to be said. And I found that did really help me to let go of the anxiety or the angst or whatever it was that, I'd let sort of awaken in me from other people's behaviour. Okay, so that was week 7, which was kind of exciting. I had 2,000 views on that tapping video. Week 7's the Self-Devotion Project tapping video, 2,000 views, which was amazing because all the other ones have had nowhere near that, let's be honest. Okay, so this week is going to be kind of a bit of a lighter topic in a sense, but that doesn't mean that it's easier to do. Lighter in the sense that you don't have to actually sit there for a certain amount of minutes a day to actually do it. It's something that we really have to do or watch all of the time. So week 8 is going to be mindful words. So the reason it's mindful words is because it's going to be all about being very mindful about what comes out of your mouth. The words that you speak, the intentions behind the words, and the effects that those words have on yourself and on other people. So human consciousness is extremely powerful. Nothing around us exists without human consciousness playing into it. So it's almost like we create what's around us via our consciousness. So I think a lot of people don't realize the power of their words, how powerful those words are, and how those words determine so much about how you feel physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and the people around you as well. So we all vibe off each other. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dr. Emoto. I think he died fairly recently. He was a fairly old man though, born in the 40s. He was a Japanese man who really believed in the power of the human consciousness, and he conducted several experiments. One was to do with water. So he found that when he blessed water, it would crystallize into these beautiful formations, kind of look like diamonds, And whenever he sort of condemned the water, I guess if you like, it would just look all brown and splotchy. And So that was his way of showing that words are powerful, that when we say positive words, we get beautiful results, and when we say negative words, we get destruction. Another experiment that he'd done, which is kind of more famous amongst the Western culture, is the rice experiment. And what that involves, because many people have done it, right, since he has done it, to see if it works. So you'll find quite a few YouTube videos on this if you type in the rice experiment. And what it involves is you put 3 jars of rice in water somewhere in your house, and for 30 days, every day, you talk to the different 3 jars of rice differently. So the first jar of rice, you say thank you, I love you, you're wonderful, all positive stuff. And then for the middle jar of rice, you say awful things like you're such a fool, you're an idiot. And then for the third jar of rice, you just ignore it completely. So this is what Dr. Emoto done, and what many people have done since. And after the 30 days, what you'll see is that the first jar that was spoken to with positivity and love is still white, and it's fermenting, and it's sending off a nice aroma. The middle jar that was spoken to harshly and rudely and really derogatively has gone quite brown and festy with black spots amongst it. And then the third jar, which was the entirely neglected jar, is actually the worst. So this jar shows rotten rice, just completely rotten. So again, what this shows us is that the power of our words is just enormous. I guess what this really raises in my mind right now is the importance of the way that we treat our children. So many children these days are getting neglected by parents, especially parents who are just so busy. You know, both parents are working, and they're just, you know, so busy, and they come home and they're tired and they're stressed, and they just don't have the time to really devote to actually listening to their children and giving them the attention that they really, you know, that they really desire. And I guess what this rice experiment shows us, that it's actually even worse to neglect somebody or to completely ignore them, I suppose, than it is to be nasty to them. But I mean, that's not to say that we should be nasty, because I mean, looking at the differences in the jars, the first jar is just completely far away from the other two. The rice is still white, it smells nice, it's fermenting. So think about the power of words for our bodies, for our minds, for our souls. So when you're sending or emitting these, you know, nasty words or thoughts of hate or whatever it might be, not only is it affecting the person that you're putting it onto, but it's also affecting yourself. It's creating changes in the body. So this week, it's going to be mindful words. I'm going to really think about the things that I'm going to say before they come out of my mouth as much as I possibly can. We're not perfect, we are only human, but I'm going to try to be extremely mindful about the thoughts that I think, the words that they form, what comes out of my mouth, especially when it's to do with the way that I'm responding to other people, reacting to other people, and just see how much better I feel when I have mindfulness with my words. I think this is a really important topic, because it's not just our thoughts that need to be more positive in order for us to feel better, but it's our words, because our words really are what are, I guess they're the energy of our thoughts, aren't they? They're our thoughts made real. So I'd love it for you guys to really give this a shot as well, and see how much you can improve the way that you feel this week by really honing in on the words that you use, the way that you make people feel with your words, the way that you make yourself feel with your words. Thank you for watching this video. I love you all for following. I think it's amazing to have you along on this journey. I appreciate every one of you. Gratitude. And I look forward to seeing you here next week. Have a beautiful, amazing, vibrant week that you deserve, and light-filled blessings from me. Bye.